Alright, so today it's Foundation Friday. This is where I try out a new foundation every single Friday on my channel, 6 p.m. Pacific time. This is a new drugstore foundation from Wet n Wild. It's their Photofocus Dewy foundation. Whenever I think about Wet n Wild, the name, it's like one of those brand names that we're so used to that we don't even think about it, but if you actually think about it, it's like, I don't know, man, what was happening there? So they have an original Photofocus foundation. Now they have a dewy version. I was so freaking excited when I saw they were coming out with a dewy version of this. I do have a couple old videos on the Wet n Wild Photofocus foundation, so I'll link those in the eye and down below. But this is actually on Target and Walmart, I think, for $2.69. $2.69, what the heck? And then everywhere else it is retailing for $6.49. You get 0.95 fluid ounces of product, so a tiny bit less than the standard 1 fluid ounce. It comes in 20 shades, so you know, room to grow there. It's cruelty free and vegan. This is the lightest shade Porcelain right here. It says it delivers natural all day wear. It's super nourishing, silky and creamy. It's ideal for normal to dry skin types. I have dry skin. It's supposed to blur imperfections, help minimize the appearance of pores for a smooth, dewy finish. So that all sounds amazing. I actually have 4 shades of this here. Whoa, wrong way. So I'm going to start swatches right here so we can see what these 4 shades look like next to each other and next to some of my other go-to shades. All right, so swatches, the first 4 are the new Wet n Wild Photofocus Dewy foundation. So the first one is the shade Porcelain. Next over is Soft Ivory, Nude Ivory, and Rose Ivory. Right here is the L'Oreal True Match Foundation in Porcelain W1. Next over is the Kokie Full Coverage Matte Foundation in the shade 10C. And then here's the Urban Decay Stay Naked Foundation in 20NN. These two look totally different from each other, the undertones, but they're both really good shade matches for me, so that's why I like to include them. So hopefully that gives you an idea of what shade you might be if you're around my skin tone. So if you're excited for Foundation Friday and you enjoy while you're watching, you can give this a thumbs up. If you're new here, I upload every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 6 p.m. Pacific time. Okay, so it is 8:27, almost 8:30 in the morning when we're starting this. So I have 4 shades here that basically all look the same. I feel like this is a little bit ridiculous. I mean, they look very similar. Obviously, there's a slight difference in some of them in undertone, but I feel like they could have made definitely some differences here, like make the lightest one lighter. Maybe I'll start out with Porcelain just to see, and then go in with Rose Ivory if I need to. This does have the paddle. Wet n Wild typically puts a paddle on these foundations. You can just pour it out onto a palette or use a paddle and kind of dip it out if you don't want to put the paddle directly on your face. Okay, so dewy, medium to full coverage, blurs pores. Let's do this. I'm gonna start out with a brush on this side of my face. Like I haven't been this excited to try foundation in a while. Wasn't sure if this Foundation Friday was going to happen this week because it's been a rough last about week and a half basically. I haven't been able to film a full day wear test just because of feeling like shitsies, but hopefully I'll be able to stick out the full day wear test with this and my body will cooperate. Please and thank you, body. Okay, so it's looking nice with the brush. I feel like this one I definitely need to smooth over though with the sponge. That shade I think looks perfect looking at my neck. It looks like medium coverage off of that one layer. I did get a little bit too much, so I kind of had to spread it over here, but let's try the sponge for the rest of this part of my face. Yeah, I keep getting too much. A little bit of this does go a long way, so I'm just going to take the sponge and spread that up to my forehead. Okay, does anyone else feel like the Drunk Elephant TLC, or not TLC, what? Yeah, the baby facial in the pink bottle, the like resurfacing thing. Does anyone else feel like that brings everything to the surface? Like it does not clear my skin, it just, well, I guess it does, but first it brings everything up. So I have like all these tiny bumps on my nose right now and on my forehead that are pretty sure from that, because I've done it twice now and both times I've used it right after I noticed that I get that. So let me know if that happens to you. I prefer the Ordinary peeling solution or whatever it's called, 30%. That one is cheaper and I feel like it doesn't do this to my skin and it works really well. Okay, so I did get lighter coverage with a sponge, but I'm going to take the sponge with nothing on it and just press over this side of my face to smooth it out. It just looks like with the brush, it's kind of like sitting on top of my skin a little bit more than I would like, but it doesn't look bad. I really like how it looks on my forehead. It's looking really nice and just dewy and plumping. It's looking good. I do have some dryness happening around my nose. Also have some around my lip right here. You can see it peeling. This is all from the Drunk Elephant thing. Apparently I have some dryness right here. I can see. I feel like this is kind of like the ultimate dry skin test right now because I do have a lot of more dryness than usual happening. So I'm going to see if I can build it up a little bit. I think this shade is perfect for me looking at my neck, so the lightest shade is the way to go. You do get lighter coverage with a sponge, but I like the finish better, so I'm kind of torn on which one to use here, because I do want to build up and get a little bit more coverage just on this area of my face. I'm not applying more product anywhere else, just on the redness on my cheeks. Okay, so it's slightly building. I would say it's still medium coverage, but that did help a little bit on the redness. You can still see it coming through, so I would say it's a pretty solid medium coverage, natural looking foundation. You are still going to see things coming through with this. You can see freckles and, you know, some of my redness and stuff. Right there, you can see a lot of dryness. I tried to like scrape that off and it's just my skin right now. I did use a exfoliator on my nose before this video to try and like really scrub off some of the dead skin. Yeah, it looks really pretty on my forehead. That's kind of like my major test because a lot of foundations don't sit well on my skin on my forehead. So it's 8:37. I'm gonna do the rest of my makeup and then I'll be right back. We're gonna do a flash test and a shot in front of the natural lighting and get super up close. Okay, so it's now 9:05. We're gonna call the check-in time 8:40 though, since that's about when I finished up with my face. And I just did super basic makeup today. I'm just, my energy right now, it's about a 2 out of 10. So one thing I'm noticing is that I'm already getting slight crease marks on my upper lip. Happy leap year, by the way. I'm getting really tiny crease marks, but I'm also not loving how it looks around my nose. I just think it's emphasizing my pores a little bit, so I would wear a pore filling primer with this one, but everywhere else I think it looks really pretty. I mean, this is like very minimal stuff. I don't think it looks horrible or anything. Those are just small things that I'm noticing. I love the way my forehead looks. I'm excited to see how this one looks in natural lighting. I do think this is a true medium coverage foundation. I wouldn't say it's super buildable. I would just call it a medium coverage foundation. I was kind of thinking like how I would wear this as I was doing the rest of my makeup, and I almost feel like because the finish looks so pretty, this might be one that I actually wear more sheer on no makeup days. I like using something like super sheer but that's dewy and looks like skin and gives you that pretty plumping look for those kind of looks. And I might just use this as like that kind of foundation where I use a really tiny amount and just blend it all over my face to kind of conceal some of the redness and give a dewy finish. I do like it like this, but I'm kind of like, I either go all out and do full coverage, or if I'm doing no other, you know, like eye makeup or anything like that, I'll do something like this and just get kind of a sheer wash of color to even everything out. But if you're someone who likes medium coverage dewy foundations, this one so far is looking good. We'll see how it wears throughout the day. But the makeup on the rest of my face, so I have, actually I think it's already up, pretty sure it's up, but I did a Milani One Brand tutorial video. I tried out this is the Supercharged Highlighter Duo, and today I went in with this shade again just to see, and it just looks so pretty on the skin. It almost like looks like a cream. So if you have textured skin, I feel like I'm gonna like this for just like everyday kind of subtle highlights. I mean, you can still see it, but it does look very natural. For bronzer, I used Kylie Tequila Tan, and then for blush, I used Becca Tiger Lily. I just used a super light hand with this because it is pretty crazy pigmented. Just put these two lightest shades on my lid. This is Milani Most Wanted palette. And then for lips, I have a lip declutter video coming. Okay. And so I basically have this whole bin of nudes on my table now that I am trying out again, but this is from that video. So this is the Burberry lip contour stick in the lightest shade Fair 01. I used to love this and I totally forgot about it. So I have that on, and then layered over top just to lighten it a little bit is Ubuntu. This is from EXO Beauty, and that's all my makeup. Very exciting stuff over here. Let's go ahead into natural lighting. Okay, so looking at it in natural lighting, even better. I feel like it looks really nice in natural lighting. It's looking, especially on my cheeks, like very smooth. Ooh, I love the glow. I feel like it's like the perfect amount of glow. Like, look at how smooth it looks. I also forgot to mention, I did have to powder right here to blend stuff over top. I've been using the new Urban Decay powder. It's technically like a powder foundation. You guys know I like using powder foundations for my actual powder. So it did add a little bit of coverage on my cheek area, but, you know, I have blush and bronzer there anyways. I didn't put it anywhere else on my face. So that might be helping with like the smoothness right there. So like I said, just very faint lines around here right now. But we will just keep an eye on them and see, you know, how it's doing throughout the day. Here's the dryness I was talking about around my nose. Love the forehead. Love it. So let's do a flash test. The flashback, there is none, so that's good. But I will say it looks very not flattering in flash, just as far as like the texture for some reason. Maybe it's just the camera, but it's like really picking up on well, I guess mostly my concealer, but also like around my nose. And then you can see the dryness on my forehead actually in the photo. So it's definitely not looking super flattering in photos, which is kind of ironic because it's a Photofocus foundation. But it seems to just be like really enhancing everything. So again, that could just be the camera, the phone, like doing something weird. I will check back in with you guys in a few hours, back in natural lighting. Okay, it's now 1:43, so the foundation's been on for 5 hours. So overall, I would say it still looks really good everywhere except my nose and upper lip. I am getting some pretty heavy creasing now and just looks super cakey around my nose. It's weird because they're like more faint lines that I usually get, but they're super deep and just like very cakey looking. My forehead I still think looks good. It's definitely a little bit dewier, but I don't mind that. I like this level of dew anyways. It's mostly just this area that's not looking too hot. I don't know what I would do different here, just maybe like a smoothing primer or something. So not loving this situation, but everywhere else still looks good. So I'll see you guys at the end of the night. Okay, it is now 5:53, so it's been on for about 9.5 hours, and I am ready to wash this one off because it's not looking too hot. My forehead looks good. Forehead looks totally fine. It's basically just here down that really doesn't look good. By the way, I tried a new concealer combo today. Total fail. I know it looks horrible. It's like totally worn off and my mascara is like transferring down. I think you can see that. My upper lip around my nose just looks really bad. It's like totally breaking down. Same kind of thing. It just like looks even worse now. It's wearing off on my chin and like breaking down a bit right there. Overall, it just seems to be breaking down. It doesn't seem to be like super long lasting on my skin, but my forehead looks fine. So I do like the shade. I like how my forehead looks. It's basically just here down. So I'm gonna try this one by using, like how I said I was gonna, just like super light amount when I have no other makeup on besides like brow gel and lip gloss, and see if I like it that way, because I don't like it like this because it just looks too heavy and cakey on my face even like a few hours in. So maybe I'll like it in that way. I will update you guys down below in the description box what I think if I try it kind of sheared out. But I know a lot of people do love this one, so you know, foundation wear is totally different on different people's skin. It might work amazing on you. I don't think this one's horrible. I just think like something's happening right here. Maybe I'll try it with a different primer and SPF and stuff underneath. I don't know, maybe it was just something that didn't like agree with it. So I will try this one again, full on applied like this, just with different products underneath. And then I'll also try it just as a sheer kind of product. So I always update you guys in foundation update videos, but I also add it in the description box down below if there are any updates. If you guys have tried this one, let me know what you think down below. But I hope you enjoyed this foundation Friday. If you did, you can give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, I upload every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific time. I love you guys. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.